morning. Chitty chat time. Anyway, so we are moving into, again, more shifts. More shifts are coming. Like I said in my talk today on chopped wood and the viability of daily life, things are coming for planetary. Like I said, August 22nd is the Lion's Gate opening up, where there will be more of an ability to shift into from the very left-brained people that are out there to that are just really stuck in facts, figures, logic, that type of thing. There's going to be an ability to access more of right brain, of the right brain type of things, of expansion, okay, awareness, expansion. So that's coming the 22nd with this new moon, or is it the full moon? The full moon, the blue moon. Once in a blue moon, okay. Oh my goodness. So that's coming up. Again, for those that want to argue that it was on the 8th, save your argument, whatever. I'm not going to be sitting here and arguing. For those that want to come and try to be disrespectful, you're going to find yourself ushered out the door rapidly, because I'm not going to get into some back and forth nonsense. Okay, just not going to do it. Okay. You can believe what you want to believe. Be my guest, but I give what I give from the experience and the life path here, okay? As a light worker, okay? As a wanderer, I give what I can give. And you can either accept it or reject it. That's up to you. No problem. If you want to reject it, you can reject it. But to come and want to argue and be nasty, that I'm not going to, allow that nonsense on my channel. Just not. So, anyway, yeah, for those that are on the spiritual journey, I have to say, I've been looking into the Law of One, the Ra collective, and it's right on alignment with what I have been teaching since everything fell away here. Quo, the one that's known as Quo, or I'm not sure how you pronounce it, but Quo is what I call it at the moment, is up there a lot in alignment with Ra collective. And as I put up the other day, I put a link to it. It's exactly the things I've been teaching since 1999, with some of the things they're coming out with now that's being said about unity and the path forward to be able to merge and to lose oneself in the divine is, okay? It's kind of like that drop of water going back to the ocean, okay? So those two I do recommend, Quo, or they're coming out with more information. And again, they're talking about things that I talked about 10 years ago. I was saying that there's a polarization coming, and so they talk on that. Those that are serving the Godhead or serving humanity versus those that are on the path of selfish serving themselves. Okay, so this polarization is taking place. So all of those things were talked about from years ago, that this time was coming up. Okay, so we see now that there are major shifts that are going on. And the challenge for people is to stay, not to get caught up in the external circumstances. Okay, see beyond the external, see beyond that, and stay centered and grounded, okay? That these things are going to pass, okay? It's darkest before the dawn. There is more coming up. More, when you have those that are serving themselves and they're fighting against the light, okay? They're fighting against that light. The more light you bring, the more irritated they will become. And the more out of sorts they will become. Because as the energy rises, and those of us that are on the path of light are quite comfortable in that, they are getting more and more irritated, okay? Because they cannot handle that light. They cannot handle that vibration. It is irritating to them. This is like when you leave the form, you go with those of like consciousness, okay? You only can go up as high as what your vibration is, your level of light is. If you're going up too high, it's going to be very irritating. It'll burn. It'll be, you can't handle it. Okay, same thing. So just know that the ones that are following this path of me-ism, this dark path, and exchange the light for the dark, it's like the evangelicals. And I want to clear up. Somebody was saying that I'm against all Christians. No, I'm not. I'm talking about the evil angel brigade. Okay, the evil angel brigade, evangelicals. Now, I'm not saying that all evangelicals are like this, but the vast majority have exchanged the darkness for the light. They see the darkness as light and the light as darkness. You can't uphold somebody that is a liar, that's following the father of lies, which is what? Satan. Okay? Put him on a pedestal, claim he is the light, and say you're really a Christian. Okay, I'm sorry, but no, that doesn't work. They've exchanged. There's nothing that they are doing that follows the admonitions of Christ, what he was here to teach and was here to reform and change and give some more light to people. Okay, so no, I'm not talking about all Christians. Let me make that clear. I am not talking about all Christians that are really followers of Christ are going to do the things that Christ was giving them. Okay? They're not going to put a liar on a pedestal and claim that it's from God. Well, I don't know, that, well, God told me. What God? Okay? The God of ego, is ego talking to you and telling you this, and so you want to follow that? Oh my God. Okay? No. Okay. So again, understand that they are going to get more irritated, more just crazed. It's like they've gotten the rabies. It's like they've gotten rabies. Now, if you've never seen an animal that's got rabies, they're out of their mind. I mean, just when I was living in India, there was this little calf. It was horrible. He'd gotten rabies in his eyes. I mean, he's just like boom, and just running and just, out of his mind. And that's basically what it's like for a lot of these people that are following this path of meism, ego, narcissism, and they were talking about that today, in fact, come to think of it, about how the Republican Party overall has gone towards this narcissism, okay? And narcissism is what? All focused on me, my, I, okay? So again, if you're following that path of narcissistic drama, then you're going to be very, very irritated by the light of truth. They don't want truth. They want their version of the truth. They want it dampened down. They want it dark. They want it something that they can, that shows it's for me. It's mine. It's my, I don't care about the rest of the people of the world. I want what I want, okay? So yes, understand the more light that comes, the more these shifts take place, the more out of sorts these ones are going to become. So don't be surprised by that, okay? And then the outer things that are happening with Gaia, there's going to be more storms, more wind, more, floods, and places that need the rain are not going to have the rain. It's going to get hotter. It's going to be, more of these earth upheavals are going to take place. I just felt that coming in, the earthquakes in diverse places, okay? So there's going to be more earthquakes happening under the ocean, and don't be surprised if they start having more tsunamis and things coming up as well. And all of these chains of the volcanoes are connected under there. So don't be surprised if there's more volcanic activity that starts taking place as well, okay? So during these times, we have to be mindful that this stuff is going to be happening, and don't be rocked by it. Know that these shifts are coming, and in the end point, it's going to be beneficial. But while this is happening and these things are being challenged, they're going to become more and more crazy, because we have this polarization happening. Of course the earth is feeling it. Of course Gaia is feeling this polarization that's taking place. Okay. Good news is some are shifting to the next density. Fourth density is what they call it, the fourth density in understanding. So there will be that plane of existence, and those that are of the dark, those that are following the path of serving themselves, will stay, like I said, in 75,000 more years. Good luck with that. You can have that path as long as you want. And like I said, sometimes it takes the universe coming up and just knocking somebody all the way down to their knees before they're willing to look up and ask for help and turn and start looking for God. Okay? So don't be surprised with that. More of this type of thing. And then we have, of course, that dark is going to try to dominate. They're all about domination. Okay? They're not about love. They're not about acceptance. They're about dominating. You're going to follow what I say. It has to be my way. It can't be any other way. There is no other way. So don't be surprised with seeing more of that coming into play as well. Like I said, the ones that are on that path of narcissism and ego, Republicans have no moral fiber, no integrity. The bottom line is they win. The bottom line is how much they're making. The bottom line is, and the rest of it is all to serve that bottom line. Okay? They don't care if they have to cheat to win. The thing is that I win. I come out on top. Okay? They'll look you straight in the face and lie. If it's self-serving, and they have no problem doing that. So again, don't be surprised by what's coming up. But know in your heart of hearts that the divine is. Karma is in place, and the actions that they pull in, the actions that they do, like I said, it says they judge the hearts and the minds, the actions and the intent behind the actions. What is the intent? Okay? What is the intent behind the actions? That's the most important. And you cannot fool the universe. The divine is. You can't fool that divine is. You could fool yourself, you could fool others, but you cannot fool that. Okay? And again, when you get to realization and one has dismantled into the divine is, you see that karma has to exist because the divine is primary. Okay, it is the seed state of everything. So if you're going out here and you've got and what happens with this darkness is it's got a little seed it grows from. It has to come from the light in the beginning, but then it starts pulling away from the light and gets more shadow and more dark. Okay? So when you're pulling away from the source, how much energy do you think you're going to have? Eventually you're going to run out. It's going to consume you. Okay? So that's what happens with that. So again, keep your integrity. The only thing we can take with us is our integrity, the honesty by which we have functioned. Okay? Not doing things with trying to steal something or trying to, if you keep your integrity, it doesn't matter what the rest of the world wants to try to put on you, put at your doorstep, try to vilify, in order so they can secure their ego, whatever, okay? And we do have those out there that do that. Like it says, don't bear false witness. Don't lie about people, okay? Don't put words in their mouth. Don't, try to put a spin on somebody that's not taking place, because you will incur karma for that. Okay? No matter how much it secures one's ego for a time, it is in the end that it's not going to benefit. So anyway, all of these shifts and changes are coming up. So again, don't be surprised at what's taking place. Okay? The darkness is railing against the light. Okay? And some of them are so confused that they really think they are in the light. They are being deceived by these evil angels, by these powers of the dark, the shadow, because what happened? Satan fell and took 1/3 of the angels with him. Well, we got 1/3 to the dark, we got 2/3 to the light. Okay? So they're fighting a losing battle. Okay? They can continue to try to fight that and think that they've got more power, and they have to subjugate people because they are so failed within themselves, is what it comes out to. You cannot be a secure person if you don't have the divine is. Okay? Just can't. And we see this over and over again with those that are very narcissistic. Really, in the end, they are lacking. Okay? They are coming from lack, from fear, from drama. It fuels, it propels them. Okay? There is no balance there. Okay? So continue to head towards the light. And what's happening out here, see it, no, it's Maya. It's elusive. It's not it's not the foundation. It is not, this will pass away. Okay? This is like you've entered a play. Okay? Somebody's written a script and it's going to play out, but the real life is something other than that. Okay? The real life, the true life, is being within that divine is. Okay, finding that. When you have the divine is, and one is, become immersed. There are no words to really talk about this, because all words come out of duality. This is beyond duality. Okay, so any word that I say is not going to really give you what I want to give you. Okay, because they all come out of duality, and this is beyond duality. That's why there's such a shift from words, the mind of words and concepts, into direct consciousness. That mind of words and concepts and dualistic endeavors ends. okay, ends. That submerges into the direct consciousness, which is beyond words, beyond, that failed system. I just say it that way, okay? That system of separation, okay? So yeah, don't be surprised at what you see coming up, coming out. Know that these things have to happen. It's darkest before the dawn, but things are going to shift. But we have still a lot more to proceed through. Okay. So just keep your center, stay grounded, keep seeking the light, let the shadow have its whatever they're off on, they're not going to hear anything because the light is painful for them. Okay. That's just the way it is. It's very painful for them. Okay, they'd rather believe these dark conspiracy theories, okay, rather than seeing the light of what's there. Okay, they want to continue in this grudging, this darkness, this depression, this fear, this, and that's a hell realm to live within. Okay. So again, stay towards the positive, stay in the light, stay in that, divine is, and have all faith. If you're at a moment that you don't know it yet and you have to have faith, faith is believing the substance of things unseen. Okay? Say that again. Faith is believing in the substance of things unseen. In other words, I know that God is, I have faith that God is, and that God has more control over the universe than do the naysayers, okay, those that are in the narcissistic ego quest, okay. I think and I know that God has more wisdom, more creative ability than do these naysayers of dark persuasion, okay, that want to try to elevate themselves to the position of God, through their own ego aggrandizements. They want to be right up there. I'm a co-creator with God. I'm right up there, co-creator. I'm right up there with him. We're like this. We're like this. Okay. Enjoy your co-creating. But, understand that when one finally goes into that, the fourth density and knows absolutely that creator, that the divine is, I call it the pregnant void, because it's when one goes into that, dismantles in that, it's not something that's seen with the five senses. It's not something you see with your eyes or any of that. It's a total shift that takes place, and I can't even, there are no words that I can give you that can give what happens with that. One is in a totally different reality, okay? And there's nothing on this physical plane that I can give you that is that will give you an expression of what that is, okay? That can give you something, it's like that. It's not, there's just nothing. Wish I could. I wish I could wave a magic wand and people could just even have a second of a glimpse. I have to say the closest it comes to something experienced here is when people have a near-death experience and they feel that overwhelming love. They feel that unconditional, and there's no more fear of death because they know that something goes on. That's the closest there is, but it still cannot hold a candle to what happens when one dismantles, okay, into that. because they come out of that experience and they're still within the mind spin. They're still filtering it through the ego complex. Okay, they're still filtering that experience, although it has moved them from a point of fear that they had of death, fear of these things, into this alignment with understanding that life goes on. Okay, this journey here is impermanent, but there are lessons to be learned here, and that's why they choose to come back, because there's something that they came in here to learn, to experience, okay, so they can go forward. So most choose to come back here and finish up their lessons, okay. So I'm going to leave this here, but much love and light. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you online.